העיתונאית האוקראינית הוותיקה מריצ'קה פדלקו הייתה הראשונה לדווח על תחילת הפלישה הרוסית לארצה.
І взагалі всю останню інформацію, яка відбувалась в Україні, починаючи після звернення Путіна про оголошення спецоперації на Донбасі, зібрала наша Наталка Нагорна. Вона зараз з нами на прямому зв'язку. Наталю.
מהרגע הזה ולאורך 10 הימים האחרונים היא ממשיכה לשדר מאולפן חדש שהוקם במיקום סודי במערב אוקראינה, בזמן שבעלה מגויס לצבא וילדיה השתכנו בבית מלון לבד וכעת אצל סבא וסבתא. רצינו לשמוע על החוויה האישית של הגשת חדשות בצל טרגדיה לאומית. מריצ'קה, good evening and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
May I ask you first of all, how are you in these difficult, heartbreaking days?
It's hard to answer this question because we still don't realize what is happening. You know, it's like we're in the middle of a Hollywood movie, of a horror movie, and we still, I think, don't have time to comprehend what is happening. And actually, I'm not trying to, because I understand if I try to think more and more about this, I will not be able to work, to take care of my kids, to breathe, because I think it will have some time to realize what we're being through right now, especially knowing that my husband is in the army, thinking about the safety of my kids, about my job, and about supporting our audience. As I talked to my husband, the main challenge for me personally was, what do I do when the invasion starts? Do I take care of my kids or do I rush to do my job? So that was the hardest choice, because my husband made me promise that if something begins to happen, I go and take away my kids. And I didn't give him a definite answer that would be my choice. So what he did the day before the invasion, he was so worried that he took my kids away to Western Ukraine and just dropped them off at the hotel alone. They had a very difficult time being alone in a city where they've never been before. And our channel was first to go live and broadcast and tell people what was happening. So I felt like I didn't betray the audience that I was with for 20 years.
Millions of worried, terrified Ukrainian citizens are watching you, anchoring the news. I wonder, during those long hours in the studio, how do you balance between the gravity of the situation and the need or desire to calm down the nation and to comfort in some ways?
When I work personally, that's the hours that I feel the best during the day, because I'm not thinking as much about my husband or about my kids, because I give all my energy to work, which means I have much more power to comfort and support people and say the words of support. And I feel the energy of the audience because, we have very strong social media. It's a very good way to get this energy and get this support from the audience so we can give it back.
Personally, I anchored the news in a few wars here in Israel with sirens and missiles above us, but I never anchored the news while my nation could be completely occupied and maybe in the near future there won't be free press in my country. I wonder, how does those thoughts influence your work?
I would be very, very sincere with you. We don't even allow such thoughts that we are going to lose or the country is going to be occupied or we will lose freedom. We don't even dare think about it. So I don't know the answer to your question.
Is that because you are so patriotic or because it's too horrifying thinking about the possibility?
No. We have the latest poll about how Ukrainians feel about what is going on. More than 80 people believe in victory, despite all these terrible days that we're going through. So we've never been so much sure of ourselves. And when I look at people that are trying to stop the Russian tanks without any weapons, just with Ukrainian flags, even in southern parts or eastern parts, which were not supposed to be patriotic.
As a woman, you are allowed to leave the country. Did you consider leaving Ukraine with your children?
Actually not. I even feel a little bit guilty that I'm not in the capital, that I'm a little bit safer than the people who are in the capital right now. So I'm not thinking about going to another country now.
Are you afraid that if, God forbid, Russia will conquer the whole country, they will be after you and your colleague journalists?
I try not to think about it. Yes, I understand that we can be a target as people and as location and as the company, but as we are going to win, they should be afraid of us, and we shouldn't be afraid of anyone.
Do you imagine the first broadcast after the war announcing the nation that it's over, or is it too early?
No, I'm not thinking about this, but I'm sure it will happen. And as thinking about the victory, I was more thinking about this victory parade with the guys, with soldiers and the army and volunteers. I was more thinking and imagining this happen rather than me announcing this on the air. But now that you gave me that dream, thank you for that. I will be dreaming.
You're very welcome, and thank you for spending time with us in the middle of a war. And I pray that we can speak once again in peaceful times, and of course, be safe.
Thank you.